Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some.
Good day, madam.
Good day.
How you
Good
doing,
day,
buddy?
Seth.
There we
Good
go.
day. I wore my "Don't Be a Weenie" shirt.
All right, so let's talk about that shirt for just a second. So tell me, you need to read it off to us. We can't.
It says "Don't be a weenie. Expose yourself on Zoom. Record yourself. Don't make excuses. Go to the leads and always 911. Don't be a weenie." Yeah.
That is not. I don't think we're talking about that on our podcast today, but we should probably make a podcast that says "Don't be a wiener" or it's a weenie.
Weenie.
Okay. Because wiener is like it's so different, right? It's like it's
Yeah,
that could be like
don't
that
be a
could-
wiener. No. Yeah, we could really get in trouble here. But yeah.
Well, the cool thing is it's our podcast and no one can fire us from our podcast, Miranda. Like we legitimately cannot be fired from our podcast. So we can kind of do and say whatever it is that we want. You want don't be a wiener? Don't be a wiener, Miranda. You want don't be a weenie? That's more the professional way of putting it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
so
how's your week been?
It's been really good. And there was actually a coaching call that we did a little while ago that's had so many people booking way more appointments, getting in front of people. So I can't wait to share some Nougats.
Ooh.
Didn't we recall Nougats?
It's Nougats. It is Nougats.
I've got some Nougats for you.
Nougats and bullets. And
some bullets.
And mousse-tard.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I remember I used to live in Boston, and there was
did you run with like the don't pack the can to have it yad?
Okay, it was like when I was new to this country. I'm actually from Canada, and Boston was one of the first places I lived. So I tried really hard to drop any accent because it was hard enough that I wasn't from there and I couldn't pronounce all the cities, and it was horrible. So I did not do any of that accent. I tried to completely lose my Canadian accent. But I remember I lived in this house, and right across the house from my house there was a veterinarian place where I'd bring my animals. And I had appointments, and I kept forgetting the darn appointment. It was like it was right across the street. Like I could see it out of my front door. And I had set an appointment, forgot about it, had another one, forgot about it again. These people probably thought I did not want to bring my animals over there, which I did. I was just really busy. And it made me think of like people in our business that maybe really do want to work with us, but they just get busy. And literally it could be 3, 4, 5 times of no showing. Like they might still want it. We just get pissed and we think, screw them, they missed an appointment, when maybe they're like me, they're just busy and they couldn't walk across the street. So
if you think that was a really good segue for this, which I thought it was amazing, can you like please give us a thumbs up like in the little chat section? Because what a perfect segue. 100%. I can't tell you like now this is the old John, right? This is like the completely unorganized John. This is the completely like, I didn't run my life by a calendar. Now I'm at a point where if I hear it, it goes right in the calendar. If I want to do it, it goes right in the calendar. But do you know how many years it took me to train that? But before, Miranda, do you know how many people in our society just be like, yep, I'll remember it, and then just totally forget about it? And that's, I think, what you were referring to.
Yeah.
And like from like this perspective, right? As we're going to set an appointment, should we be mad at them? Should we be disappointed? Should we be frustrated? No, because they are just not as structured and as organized as we are. That was a really good segue, buddy. I just wanted to give you
that. Thanks. I was trying not to be a weenie. So all right. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about people that don't show for the appointment. Number one, you're right. Don't get frustrated at them. If anything, be concerned, right? Like they told you that they were going to be there and they're not. So the best thing you can do is, hey, John, is everything okay? Right? Oh, is everything okay? And then they're going to probably feel bad and be like, oh, no, you can text that, you can whatever. Or, hey, I'm waiting for you in Zoom. Is everything all right? Like that is going to win people over. Not, hey, what happened? So that would be number one. The most important thing though, we talk a lot about call priority, call sequence, and this has really changed the game for a lot of people that I've mentioned this to lately. When do we call our no-shows? Right? We start our dialing. Hopefully we're dialing in the morning, like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, as early as you can. But typically, I think sometimes people start with their new leads data spot. How about we start with the people that had an appointment that didn't show up? Because if we get them back on the phone, it's literally like the lowest hanging fruit ever. Because you already did everything, right? So if you get them back on the phone, it's already like you don't have to go through all that stuff again and get their health and all that stuff. So number one, it's the best way for you to get started. Grab a couple of appointments. And you want to hit these guys at least 5 times a week, just like the rest of your inventory.
Ooh, I like that. And I want to like, this is not advice. This is just a question. This is a question that immediately went to me, Miranda, is, so like when you're setting the appointment, would you write down like maybe write down the appointment time, but also write down the time that you contacted them?
I don't normally do that.
Okay. And again, that's okay. That's okay.
If you're calling in like a switchboard or a call, then you'll be able to see. So that would probably be recorded.
Okay. The only thing I think of is because you're alluding to, hey, you're gonna have to dial them like 5 times again, right? Like you're gonna be in the habit and routine. Maybe toward the end of you trying is just go back and say, okay, I talked to them at 11:35. Why don't I try to contact them again? Because maybe they have a consistent schedule throughout the week. Is the only
that's a good idea too. Yeah. I typically will just call them at the beginning of every dial session and then again or at the end of the day too. Right. But I like just getting in a habit of no shows first, right? And then dive into the new leads. So, okay, when you get the people back on the phone, okay, I need you to pay attention to if it's a single person or if it's a married couple, the lead source. Because if you are doing a traditional mortgage protection where you need both spouses and they're coming on Zoom and all that stuff, okay, you are going to have to reset that appointment probably, right? The odds of them both being there when you call them back it could happen, right? But you already have all their information. You've already worked up all the prices, right? So as soon as you get them back on the phone, this is what should happen. Hey, John, or maybe it's even text. Hey, listen, we had that appointment for last week and I know we didn't connect. Is everything okay? And he's going to ask him at least 2 or 3 follow-up questions about it. Oh, I had to go out of town. Wow, was it for work or pleasure? Okay, cool. What about, wow, did you get any fun in there on that trip or anything? Cool. All right, listen, I'm looking at my schedule and you go right back into date and time progression.
What is your idea behind going 2 or 3 layers kind of deep there?
Well, are we doing an interview or are we doing an appointment? So if I just said, hey, is everything okay? And you're like, yeah, everything's fine. Okay, well, I have tomorrow at this time or tomorrow at that time. You know, like it's just
it's awkward.
Yeah. And so when you're talking to these people, write down things about them, write down their kids, or if you find out what they do for a living, or if they have trips planned, like, so that even if it was like a reminder call or a no-show, whatever, you have something to ask them about. That's the perfect thing is having, and again, maybe we should end with that confirmation calls. But yeah, I want to kind of loosen them up a bit and let them know that I actually care. I'm not just trying to process them.
Yeah.
And then dive right back into, don't ask anything else. Just go, okay, cool. I'm just looking at my calendar. Boom, boom. And get them booked.
Yeah. And I really do love the concerned approach. Again, we've been talking about this a lot lately. We talked about it, you know, today or whatever. We talked about it, I think a couple days ago on when we did the call, right? Just that, like, do not put people in a defensive position.
Yeah.
Like, don't call them out. Don't call them up. Don't leave all of that language just away from it. Like, just concerned, right? Confrontation, concerning, making sure that everything's okay, making sure that we're fine, like joking and being happy, like not like, oh, hey, since you blew me off, Miranda, I had a whole bunch of time. Give me,
Yeah.
don't joke with them in that light, but do have fun. I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys, I cannot stress this enough, Miranda. Like, do not make people raise their wall.
Yeah.
You do not want them to raise their defense mechanism because it's a terrible spot to be in for them.
Yeah.
So
So the scenario of rescheduling that appointment is when you have two spouses and you want them on Zoom, right? If you are calling up a digital lead, right, and you're not asking them to go on Zoom, or maybe you run your appointments over the phone, do it. You don't have to reschedule them. Okay. So it's going to sound a little bit different. If this is a digital lead or it's a single person, just freaking go for it. You don't need to reschedule them, do you? Right. So in this scenario, John's a digital lead. I'm calling him. Hey, John. Hey, it's Miranda Martin, your life insurance agent. I know we had an appointment last week and we didn't connect. Was everything okay?
oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I just got caught up at work. I thought I would have been home by then. It just didn't happen.
I hate it when that happens. What do you do for work?
Oh, I sell duct tape and bubble gum.
You do. Okay, so what's your favorite? Duct tape or bubble gum? Which one do you like best? Like what?
Well, I like to use the duct tape on my wife, and then
Gosh.
bubble gum. I like the bubble gum chewing while I'm putting the duct tape on my
Oh
wife.
my gosh. But it doesn't matter what they say. This is a good book. It's just asking a question about what they said, right? Cool,
Yeah.
John. Well, listen, I did like a bunch of research for you. Like I spent like an hour, okay, on your case the other day. And listen, I'm a broker, all right? I work with like 50 different companies and I do a lot more. And now you're in your role and purpose. I'm not going to say, do you have a minute to do it now? I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to go right into the sales process right here. Boom. And now guys, okay, I went back in the field for like 6 months calling digital leads. Could sometimes get 2 or 3 sales before I even started calling my leads that I bought just from no-shows.
Yeah.
You know? And just go for it. I'm telling you, it does. And again, they might be driving through driving or in a grocery store. I don't give a care. You got them on the phone. If this is something that, they're single or you can do it right there. It's fine. Okay.
Miranda says, I don't give a care. And I don't want to like kind of just gloss over the fact of like what you did there too, and the way that you set it up. Like, hey, listen, I know we didn't connect for whatever reason. But I did spend about an hour just doing a whole bunch of research for you.
It was actually 2, but an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's that there's that empathy with them that they're gonna have, like, oh man, you did all that for me.
Yes.
And so it's just tossing little stuff like that out there that's just a little dagger, right?
A little nougat. Tossing a nougat at.
A little nougat. A nougat from Miranda Martin.
A little noogie.
I
So
love it.
yes, and then you're in the appointment. Okay. Yeah. So now, what time are we at? Are we at?
We're done, but you
We're
keep
done. Okay.
Yeah.
There's one last thing that I want to mention, and it's on calls that you book outside of like a day or two. Okay. We call them like a confirmation call. If you book somebody for tomorrow, you don't have to remind them of the appointment, right? And ideally, you want it today, right? Not even tomorrow. But let's say John was like in the middle of nowhere with no cell service and I had to book him for next week. That is not an appointment until I do a confirmation call and I get him back on the phone or text him and he responds back like, yes, I'm still going to be there. If you don't connect with him, do not leave it as a solid appointment. Don't count it as an appointment. Count it as nothing. And book another appointment, like maybe 15 or 20 minutes after that one. And here's what happens when you call to remind him or text him. You want to say, hey, John, it's Miranda Martin, your life insurance agent. Just calling to remind you of our appointment at 2:00 tomorrow. Can you just respond with a thumbs up so I know you got my message and we'll see each other then? Not, I'm calling to see if it still works. If it doesn't work, we can reschedule. It's a reminder call. Let's reschedule, not even say confirmation. It's a reminder call. Reminder. And you need a yes from him. And when I do book appointments out like that, John, and we should talk about this on another podcast, make it because your schedule is so busy. Your schedule, right? If you make it all about them, It's not going to have the same impact if you're like, listen, my schedule's completely full this week. I know we booked it last week. I don't normally do that. Just want to double check that you didn't forget about me. Can you just respond with a thumbs up?
Ooh, yeah, that's good. That
And
is
now it's an appointment. Now you can count on it showing up whatever percentage you usually have yours show up at.
because you get that thumbs up, dog.
My sometimes it does those graphics when I do it, sometimes it doesn't. I know ours is not working.
Dang
But we
it.
look really cool. Anyways,
And
go-
you wouldn't know if you were on if you're on Spotify or Apple, you wouldn't know what we're doing right now. So get your
Nope.
butts over to YouTube. And
Right.
yeah. Just hey, Miranda, if they don't want to suck at sales, what should they do?
Like, subscribe, and don't be a weenie.
Ooh, don't be a wiener. All right, outside of that, see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.